And if you're continually running away, then you're not going to make that progress. You have to deal with the things out in the open. And you might say, oh, well, I got to gather my thoughts about this thing. No, you can explore those things together.
It's important to be there. It's important to learn how to regulate your emotions in the moment.
Yeah.
Because you can't learn that if you just avoid. Like, you're not actually regulating your emotions. You think you are. But the thing is, the real hard thing is to learn to regulate your emotions in that moment. Right. A lot of people have avoidant or anxious or a mixture of both. And so it's even harder when you don't have a secure partner to get out of whatever side you're on. Like, if an avoidance with an anxious person, do you know how hard it is going to be for them to get to the secure place? Like, it's not impossible. It can be done. Before we got together, we thought we were very healed people. And we were.
Yeah.
But being together has brought up and will continue to bring up so many things that if I just continue to live on my own, I probably never would have even got close to, because they could just be lived with, because they were down inside of me and no one was bringing them out. And I had buried them far enough where I could still live my life. I still felt like I was healed and I was doing good.
Yeah.
And many people have said that your partner will do that. Your partner will bring out things in you that you think you've healed and you haven't, and they'll help you actually really heal them. So when I hear that people want a personal space, it's really just so they can be more comfortable.
Yeah. It's running away is what it is. And if you're continually running away, then you're not going to make that progress. You have to deal with the things out in the open. And you might say, oh, well, I got to gather my thoughts about this thing. No, you can explore those things together. Right.
You're also a very understanding and lovely partner. And I believe you when you say what you just said, that you can explore and you can say whatever you need to say, even if it's not like politically correct or whatever at the time. I believe you.
Right.
But I know that not everybody has a partner that can do that. Like, some people do. Like, some people do have a high emotional intelligence, and you definitely do. But it takes a partner with a high emotional intelligence to be there for someone doing that, right? Without getting defensive that they might say the wrong thing. Because that's, I think, too, why people want to take time and gather their thoughts so they don't say the wrong thing.
And I get that, but even
if that is the case, you could be like, hey, can you give me like a minute right here with you where I just like breathe for a minute and then we can continue. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But like, I know that people watching this are going to be like, my husband would never just sit there if I said the wrong thing, and Yeah,
but it has to be, but that also brings you forward in progress through good conflict, right? Again, the words are important, like you always say.
Right.
So as you're working things out and thinking through things, you can do it in a way that's not offensive, right? You can do it in a way that it might still cause conflict, but that's fine because you're going to work through that in that process. It's
you're learning.
Yeah. It's just a matter of, I take an extreme stance on this, obviously, but because I know that when most people say I need my space, they are avoiding.
Right.
It's an avoidant strategy.
It is.
When you're using I need my space to avoid, it's not like you're just out in nature and exploring your connection with the universe for a minute. That's not when someone's saying I need my space or they need their personal space, they're saying that I'm avoiding this thing, or you're getting on my nerves, or whatever it is, which are all the things that, like, if someone's getting on your nerves and they're your life partner, you're in your relationship, you have an intimate relationship with them, then you have to work through that, not run away from that.
Right.
If you want to actually resolve it. Otherwise, what ends up happening is the thing is, every time you run away and you're avoidant, that's shoving things under the rug. Because when you come back, it will be better, but not because it's resolved, because it's forgotten.
Yeah.
Right. It's not at the top of mind. And that's why, and that's why I've always been very adamant about, no, we resolve things right away, because the things should not get forgotten. Because when they get forgotten, they're being brushed under the rug, and you just don't, there's a bump there, but you don't know what the bump is, but you can feel it, and that's not a good place. You want to be able to know what the bump is.
Right.
But you don't even make it a bump. You know what I mean? So
yeah, no, you're 1,000% correct as someone who was avoidant, very much so. And I definitely resisted you on it in the very beginning. And, even sometimes now I want to just go to the comfort zone, right, of just being by myself. But the thing is, though, you doing that for me has taught me how to be present and not just avoid. And that is important. Like you just said, it's important to be there. It's important to learn how to regulate your emotions in the moment.
Yeah.
Because you can't learn that if you just avoid.
Right.
Like you're not actually regulating your emotions. You think you are.
Right.
But the thing is, the real hard thing is to learn to regulate your emotions in that moment.
Right.
When it's happening, while you're still looking at the person that hurt you or upset you and being able to do that. And that's why, like, you should still be able to choose the words wisely that you're going to use without even saying, hey, can I take a minute? Because that is what you should be working. You should be working while you're in this hard situation to do the right thing.
Right.
Because the more that you do that, the more that will become your automatic response. Like the reason avoiding became my automatic response is because I grew up in that environment.
Yeah.
And I learned that, but you have helped me unlearn that and create an actual secure attachment. Like that is an avoidant attachment.
Right.
When someone wants to take space, and especially if it's during an argument, that's an avoidant attachment.
Yeah.
Or if somebody's like anxiously freaking out and being like, oh my God, like, is this still, you can have multiple too, like doing the opposite, being more anxious, that's an anxious. But sticking it out and working through it is the secure thing to do. And especially if you can get to a level of emotional maturity where you can sit there and have somebody go through the process and it's messy and be there for them and try to help them do that rather than letting them just go off on their own and figure it out on their own or, create more anxiety inside of them, So the thing is, you have to do it. It's kind of like teaching kids to regulate their emotions. If you don't, or if you're teaching them avoidant style or anxious style or whatever style it is, that's what they're going to have. And they're going to have that until they learn how to not have that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not everybody has a partner that is secure. Right. A lot of people have avoidant or anxious or a mixture of both.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's even harder when you don't have a secure partner to get out of whatever side you're on. Like if an avoidance with an anxious person, do you know how hard it is going to be for them to get to the secure place? Like it's not impossible. It can be done. But it takes the avoidant person not running away and the anxious person facing their thoughts and, dealing with it head on and not, spiraling to create that.
Right. Yeah.
And so, it's a good thing actually to be in a hard situation. Like in the beginning, like I said, when you were like, no, we're going to figure this out now, I resisted and I didn't want to. And I left the room and I did all the things. Yeah. But I'm glad that you never gave up on me because it is better now.
Yeah.
Like it is better dealing with the things in this way. And I still, even though you have come to me and made me not run away when I'm overwhelmed and I want to, I still want to be with you all the time.
Yeah.
So it's not like I need more personal space because I'm not having my avoidant runaway time met. I still want to be with you all the time.
Right.
More than my own, spending my own time. And so, it boils down to there's something that's bothering you, like we've said. And maybe you have to sit and think about it because maybe it's not that obvious. Maybe it's from a long time ago. Like you said, maybe you ran away during one of the arguments and you forgot about something, but it's still lingering there. It's still under the rug.
Yeah.
You just forgot about it because you took a space away from the situation and now you never resolved it. And so now you want more space because something's bothering you that you don't know, and now you're pushing more stuff.
Well, and then I think also, and we've talked about this before about, your problems are my problems are your problems. Like we don't have our own issues that we have to work out on our own because we work them out together.
Right.
And that's part of it too, is it's because I think a lot of people are like, oh, well, I need my space to work on myself or work on my issues. And it's like, no, you do need to work on yourself, but those are going to be the things, like I said, maybe you're going for a run, maybe you're doing some hobby or some activity, right? But you're not doing it to get away.
Right.
That's the thing. It's like you're doing it to do it, not to get away.
Yeah, you're not taking a break from being around your partner.
Right. Yeah. And but that's the thing is realizing that and whatever kind of issues that you're facing, you face them. There's no issue that you have that I don't have because we're in it, because we're tied together. And so if you have an issue, I have an issue, right? We're on the same team. It's like, if you're playing on a team and one of the players is injured, it affects the whole team. It doesn't, you just like, okay, well, that's his problem. I'll just play my game. And, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And so, but I think that's the big thing about it too, is like, cause that's where people are saying, okay, I need space. Cause like, okay, well, I got to fix these issues that are internal issues that are, but it's the wrong way of looking at things because you're tied together. You've got, you can't have an issue and the other person not have an issue.